Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an aspect of the race that we might look back on later as having been the path to finding the winner. Well, Saturday racing this week in Hong Kong, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 8, where our winning factor is the weights. Now, this is a 1400 metre class 3, and I think there will be fans of a couple of horses up the top of the weights, like Majestic Colour and Eremo. Happy Daily didn't have much luck last time and should have finished closer. And Benno Jung trained Hyper Dragon Ball is improving with racing. So let's take a look at what the main players have been doing in their lead-ups. Firstly, race 530, and we've got here Happy Daily in green and yellow, gate 4. He jumps okay and settles into a midfield run, while Eremo in red and black, who often races fairly handy, but from gate 11 here, he's taken straight back to the rear to avoid covering too much ground. Now on the heat map, just a steady speed before the leader picks it up from the 800 metres to put the chasers under some pressure, and then turning for home, the leaders have kicked. Happy Daily runs into some traffic problems and he won't get clear until the 200 metre mark, then runs on for 4th, while Eremo, he's still last with too much to do straightening, but comes to the middle and gets home steadily into 6th placing. Now if we go back a week earlier over the same course and distance, we're going to have a look at the other two main players. And this is race 511 in green and blue, gate 7. We have Hyper Dragon Ball with the white face. He jumps well and is quickly able to posse up outside a soft lead, while Majestic Colour in the yellow also jumps well, but from gate 14, and he has to drift back as the speedier horses keep him wide, and he settles in midfield. Now the heat map here shows just a moderate speed all the way to the home turn, so that's definitely an assistance to those up the front, and the sprint goes on from the top of the straight. Hyper Dragon Ball claims the lead, but the more promising horse Mighty Stride is the one who is able to outrun him, while Majestic Colour tries gallantly under the top weight and winds up in 4th placing. So not unlucky there, Hyper Dragon Ball, but certainly beat all but the winner, and I think most important, in a race that mirrors what I think we're going to see on Saturday. One of the things that really strikes you here about this race is the lack of tactical speed amongst most of the runners, and I think we're going to once again see a slow tempo to the home turn followed by a sprint down the straight. Just the same circumstances as Hyper Dragon Ball's last run. Now, with better barrier draws here, I wouldn't be surprised to see Eremo and Majestic Colour a little bit closer than we've seen in those replays, while Zach Purton on Hyper Dragon Ball should be able to get right on the front end again, perhaps even be the leader dictating the terms of the race, while Happy Daily is the one who loses out in the draw this time. He's out to gate 11, and that probably sentences him to getting back with the speed against him. So you might conclude from all that we can now come back to 3 horses suited by the race, and they are Eremo, Majestic Colour and Hyper Dragon Ball. But for me, the tip in race 8 is Hyper Dragon Ball. His winning factor, the weights. So the setup of the race could suit the 3 of these horses, but he's the one getting the weight pull. He's getting 15 pounds in handicap weight from Majestic Colour and 10 pounds from Eremo, and I think that's going to swing things his way. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9 on Saturday, and our winning factor here, the tempo. Now this is one of the most interesting races of the day, this class 2, with a couple of promising up-and-comers engaged, and there will be plenty of attention, I think, on Zach Purton's mount, Victor the Winner. The 3-year-old from the John Size Yard, How Deep Is Your Love, switches to Sha Tin off some very promising wins at Happy Valley recently, and I'm sure there'll be arguments made for Carroll Street back to Sha Tin, and the lightweight run-on horses Go-Co Win and the grey Toronado Phantom. And that's leaving out some other very talented gallopers engaged in the race. So this is a race with a bit of depth to it. And what's going to sort out the issue? Well, we'll get to that in a moment or two. First, we're going to have a look at what they've been doing lately. And this is race 434, and in red and yellow colours, Go-Co Win Jumps okay from a wider draw, but is in no hurry, drifting back from gate 10 to be last of the main group for most of the race, in fact. Now, the pace isn't that strong up front before the leaders put the foot down from the 400 metres, so it's no real plus to be giving such a big start, but Go Win comes off heels at the 300 metres, and then he just explodes, running the best finishing sprint of the entire meeting to come away and win easily in this Class 3. Now, he's since been beaten in Class 2, Go Win, but that was on a wet track on the dirt surface. So I think that the win I've just showed you might prove a better guide to his prospects back on turf at Sha Tin on Saturday. Now, in the meantime, we've also seen a promising 3-year-old rising through the ranks at Happy Valley in How Deep Is Your Love, and we're going to take a look at his most recent victory. He's in orange colours in race 499 here, drawn low, and How Deep Is Your Love? Well, we have seen him at times run on strongly from the back in a couple of his wins, but he was quickly up to be with the leaders here from a good draw in a race where there really wasn't a lot of speed on. And he travels quite strongly outside the leader in running before they get into a sprint for home from the 400 metres, and How Deep Is Your Love is ruthless as the hot favourite. He dispatches his rivals easily and he's eased down at the finish. So he's a young horse on the way up, and he now has the extra task of not only going up from Class 3 to Class 2, but he's got to bring his Happy Valley form across to the bigger track at Sha Tin. So they're the challenges for How Deep Is Your Love. But I think the favourite is going to be Victor the winner, Zach Purton's mount, who has been quite impressive in a couple of wins over this course and distance. And we're going to have a look at his most recent win and also highlighting the run of the grey Toronado Phantom from back in the field. This is race number 506, and Victor the winner, he's in light blue and yellow and goes straight to the lead. Now, the grey Toronado Phantom, he takes his usual place past midfield. So Victor leads. Winning Dreamer, who's also in Saturday's race, goes up on his outside to keep in company. And while the pace, you wouldn't call it hot, it's certainly genuine, and Victor the winner doesn't get a whole lot of pace. Nevertheless, he still travels well under a light handicap here, then kicks it up a gear when they straighten for home, shakes off the chasers and comes clear for an easy win. And meanwhile, Toronado Phantom, we see he's getting home well at the finish into 4th placing. So a good win without completely everything all his own way there, Victor the winner, and we've seen him lead and win in all his victories. But I think this race on Saturday, he's going to get pressure in front of a completely different brand when we look at the map, because Nervous Witness, I think, is probably the fastest horse in Hong Kong, and he's drawn underneath Victor the winner this time. Nervous Witness has never shown any real acceleration. His superpower, such as it is to be able to sustain a fast, consistent pace. And that gives Victor a problem, because it means Nervous Witness is probably not going to let him lead and probably not going to be suited if he takes a sit. So throw into that Winning Dreamer is also drawn under Victor the winner this time if he wants to be a nuisance again. And there's also speed from Trillion Win if he jumps better than last time. So in short, the path for Victor the winner to dictate the terms like he has done in his wins looms as more problematic this time. How Deep Is Your Love? Well, he'll take a sit behind the speed, as will Go Win, as we saw in his replay. And Toronado Phantom, he's going to go back from the wide draw, and he'll probably be right out the back with the tail enders. But all those three are going to be getting some help at the finish by a lead pace that is going to tire the front runners out. So the tip from me in race 9 is Go Win. His winning factor, the tempo. And really, the tempo here is as much working against the likely favourite as it is working for the horses that we're keen on to give Victor the winner a bit of a race this time. And Go Win, we saw him finish strongly off a good pace in that Class 3. And if he can finish the same way here, he's going to be running at horses who are getting tired at the finish. And I think he could make amends for his defeat last time in Class 2. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good Good luck on Saturday. We'll see you next time.